SUVs are supposed to represent safety. They're bigger, heavier, and taller than most vehicles on the road. That's why millions of families choose them every year. But size doesn't always mean safety. In fact, some SUVs that once looked strong and reliable turned out to be extremely dangerous during crash testing. When independent safety organizations put these vehicles through real crash scenarios, the results were shocking. Weak roof structures, dangerous passenger compartments, poor side impact protection. Some of these SUVs performed so badly that the manufacturers quietly removed them from production. No dramatic announcements, no big headlines. They simply disappeared. Today, we're looking at 10 SUVs that failed crash tests and were eventually discontinued, and some of them might surprise you. Let's start with one that shocked the industry. 1. Suzuki Samurai. In the late 1980s, the Suzuki Samurai became extremely popular in the United States. It was marketed as a lightweight, affordable SUV that could go almost anywhere. Many buyers loved its simple design and impressive off-road capability for such a small vehicle. However, safety concerns started appearing almost immediately after its rise in popularity. Consumer safety testing revealed that the Samurai had a high risk of rollover accidents, especially during sudden steering maneuvers meant to simulate emergency situations on the road. During these tests, the vehicle sometimes became unstable and tipped more easily than other SUVs in its class. Crash simulations showed that in certain conditions, drivers could lose control simply trying to avoid an obstacle or make a quick lane change. These results created a major controversy. Critics argued that the vehicle's short wheelbase and tall body made it more vulnerable to rollovers than many competitors. The controversy damaged the Samurai's reputation severely. Media coverage and safety debates caused consumer confidence to drop quickly. Sales declined throughout the early 1990s. Eventually, Suzuki discontinued the Samurai in the United States, ending the run of a vehicle that once seemed destined for long-term success. 2. The Ford Bronco 2 was another SUV that became widely known for its rollover concerns. Introduced in the 1980s, the Bronco 2 was designed as a smaller companion to the larger Ford Bronco, offering drivers rugged styling and strong off-road capability in a more compact package. At first, the vehicle gained popularity among drivers who wanted an SUV that felt adventurous but still manageable for everyday driving, but safety testing soon revealed a serious flaw in the vehicle's design. The Bronco 2 had a narrow wheelbase and a relatively high center of gravity, a combination that made it unstable in certain driving situations. During sudden turns or emergency maneuvers, the SUV could become more likely to roll over compared with other vehicles. Government crash data and accident reports linked the Bronco 2 to hundreds of rollover accidents, raising serious concerns among regulators and safety experts. As the number of incidents grew, investigations and lawsuits began to follow. Public pressure increased, and the vehicle's reputation started to decline. By the early 1990s, Ford quietly phased out the Bronco 2. The company later introduced the Ford Explorer, a redesigned SUV intended to replace it and address many of the safety concerns that had surrounded the earlier model. 3. Isuzu Trooper. The Isuzu Trooper was marketed as a tough, durable SUV, but safety testing raised major concerns. In particular, emergency maneuver tests revealed that the Trooper could become unstable when drivers tried to avoid obstacles quickly. This instability significantly increased the risk of rollovers. When safety organizations published the results, public confidence dropped dramatically. Isuzu attempted to defend the vehicle, but the damage had already been done. Over time, the Trooper disappeared from the market. 4. Mitsubishi Montero. The Mitsubishi Montero was once considered a serious competitor in the SUV market. It was known for off-road capability and global popularity, but crash testing revealed troubling problems. Independent tests showed that the vehicle struggled during sudden steering maneuvers designed to simulate avoiding an accident. In some tests, the Montero lifted wheels off the ground and became dangerously unstable. These results spread quickly through automotive media. Sales began declining. Eventually, Mitsubishi discontinued the model in several markets. 5. Chevrolet Tracker. The Chevrolet Tracker was a compact SUV designed to offer affordability and practicality, but crash test results painted a different picture. During frontal crash tests, the passenger compartment showed significant structural weakness. In high-speed collisions, the cabin deformation increased the risk of serious injury. Side impact protection also scored poorly compared to competing SUVs. As safety standards improved in the 2000s, the trackers struggled to meet expectations. Eventually, the model was retired. 6. Jeep Liberty Early Models. Jeep has a strong reputation for rugged vehicles, but early versions of the Jeep Liberty had problems in certain crash scenarios. Side impact testing revealed weaknesses in door protection and structural rigidity. In some crash simulations, the impact forces transferred dangerously close to passengers. Later versions improved safety significantly, but early models received poor safety scores. Eventually, Jeep replaced the Liberty entirely with a new model, the Jeep Cherokee. 7. Kia Borrego. The Kia Borrego was introduced as a full-size SUV designed to compete with large American models, but it entered the market at a difficult time. Crash test results were mixed, and the vehicle struggled to gain traction with buyers. While it didn't perform catastrophically in every test, several safety ratings were below expectations for a family SUV. Combined with poor sales, the Borrego quickly disappeared from showrooms. It lasted only a short time before being discontinued. 8. Cadillac Escalade X. The Escalade X was a luxury SUV pickup hybrid. It looked impressive and powerful, but safety testing revealed issues with structural rigidity during certain crash scenarios. Side impact protection and rollover risk ratings were not as strong as buyers expected for a premium vehicle. Combined with declining demand for SUV pickups, the X quietly disappeared from Cadillac's lineup. 9. Nissan Xterra. The Nissan Xterra built a reputation as a tough adventure vehicle. It was popular with off-road enthusiasts, but crash testing exposed weaknesses in side impact protection. In particular, certain crash simulations showed increased injury risk for rear passengers. While the vehicle wasn't universally unsafe, its safety ratings lagged behind newer SUVs entering the market. As safety expectations increased, Nissan decided to discontinue the Xterra in many markets. 10. Pontiac Aztek. The Pontiac Aztek is often remembered for its unusual design, but the vehicle also faced criticism regarding safety and build quality. Crash tests showed inconsistent performance depending on the collision type. In some side impact tests, structural weaknesses appeared in the passenger compartment. Combined with poor public reception and declining sales, the Aztek became one of the shortest-lived SUVs of its era. Pontiac discontinued the model after only a few years. Why crash tests matter? Crash tests exist for a simple reason. They reveal how a vehicle protects people during the worst possible moments. Automakers design vehicles to meet safety standards, but independent testing often pushes those vehicles further. Frontal collisions, side impacts, rollover simulations. These tests help engineers understand how vehicles behave under extreme conditions, and sometimes the results reveal problems that weren't obvious during development. The evolution of SUV safety. The SUVs on this list mostly come from earlier generations of vehicle design. At that time, safety engineering was still evolving. Modern SUVs are dramatically safer. Today's vehicles include advanced features like electronic stability control, advanced airbag systems, stronger passenger compartments, collision avoidance technology. These improvements have significantly reduced fatalities and injuries, but the failures of earlier SUVs helped push the industry toward better safety standards. The hidden pattern. One pattern appears repeatedly across these vehicles. Many of them weren't discontinued immediately after poor crash results. Instead, manufacturers slowly removed them from production. Sometimes they introduced replacement models. Sometimes they redesigned the platform entirely. But the original versions quietly disappeared. This approach avoided major public controversy while allowing companies to move forward with safer designs. SUVs are designed to protect the people inside them. But history shows that not every vehicle lives up to that promise. Crash tests have revealed weaknesses that manufacturers never expected. or sometimes hoped the public wouldn't notice. Some of these SUVs faded away quietly, others were replaced by safer successors, but each one played a role in improving automotive safety because every failed crash test teaches engineers something new. And those lessons help make the next generation of vehicles stronger, safer, and more reliable.